Hey, everybody, what's going on? This is your man, Big B, Brian Hanley. Welcome back to Steelers Almighty. Pittsburgh Steelers training camp. We got another one in the book. Move the practice up early to 10 a.m., which I agree with. But we didn't want to change our schedule from when we normally come on. We wanted to still come on at 5 Eastern, 4 Central. So we appreciate you guys sticking around and bearing with us with the Steelers time change with practice. I don't think that's going to be the norm. I think that's just what it is now because I think they're going to kind of try to get some rest, get after it tomorrow night with Friday Night Lights. So appreciate everybody being in here. We got the members coming in. We see Mr. Rob Nash is in here. What's going on, Mr. Rob Nash? We see Mr. Tom is in here. What is going on? We see our man Sal. Hey, Sal Steelers, what's happening? Appreciate you being in here. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Got a good show. Look, today it was an offensive day. Aaron Rodgers and the offense have their best day of training camp. They got after the defense a little bit, and that was basically standing up after being embarrassed by the defense yesterday. So good for them. Wide receivers, they take a step forward against aggressive DB. The DBs have been ultra aggressive all training camp, which is fine by me. Not penalty aggressive, just physically aggressive. Wide receivers fought back today and kind of put it on the DBs. We'll touch on that. And the competition is starting to heat up. Starting to see some more skirmishes, guys pushing each other, really challenging each other, which I like to see. So we appreciate everybody being in here. Miss Brenda, how are you doing, Miss Brenda? Thank you for showing up and being here. Torsha Jackson, what's going on, man? Football is absolutely back, man. Football is absolutely back. Howard, what's going on? So thank you guys and everybody for showing up today. We appreciate you. May not be as long of a show today because not a lot happened with the Steelers. Look, they didn't practice in pads. So again, offense and defensive line play, you're only going to get so much. You're only going to get so much with no pads on. So they went light today. Cam Hayward, TJ got a vet day. I think they're trying to build up because I think they're going to have a really physical practice tomorrow night under the lights with Friday Night Lights. So giving a couple guys a vet day, rest here and there, move practice up early, get a lot of work done to try to get. I think they're trying to put on a show tomorrow night and really, really get after it. Because you remember, the Steelers missed a day. The first official pad day was supposed to be Tuesday, and it got rained out. When I was real disappointed that they didn't move the practice. I'm like, you knew rain was coming. You could have moved it up, could have moved it back, whatever you wanted to do, and didn't do that. So I think they're really trying to ramp up what they do on Friday Night Lights. Should be a good physical practice. But there are some highlights, you know. So appreciate everybody showing up, man. Let's get into it. Aaron Rodgers, best day in camp. He had been trying to knock the rust off the first week of camp, trying to knock it off, trying to get on the same page, with live competition out there. A lot of high throws, just rusty stuff from Aaron Rodgers is what he had seen. Not terrible, just rusty. He wasn't that today. Sharp, got the ball out of his hands quick, found receivers, hit people in stride. Best day in camp so far. And you're going to see that from him from time to time. You're going to see really good days. You're going to see a couple bad ones until he gets into the swing of things. That's just kind of what you're going to get right now, which is okay. That's what training camp is for. Kicked all the dust off, get the rust out, kind of get a feel for what's going on. And then as camp starts winding down, you get more into just preseason practice. Then you start to try to put your foot down and try to hammer all this stuff out. So that's where we're at in this process with Aaron Rodgers. But he looked good today. The offense in general, they fought back. Because yesterday, the first day in practice, the offense took it on the chin. I mean, there were some moments. Don't get me wrong. The offense had some moments, and we pointed it out. Both the Calvin and Spencer Anderson, the Andersons is what I call them, had good days, playing left tackle and left guard. Troy Fautanu, good day. But for the most part, the offense got handled. And you're going to expect that, like I mentioned early in camp, that's just kind of what it is. I mean, defense ahead of the offense just implementing stuff, just kind of throwing everything against the wall to see what sticks. They're just throwing a whole lot of stuff out there to see where they're at as far as camp is concerned. So, offense is always going to struggle at the first part of camp. But the tide will start turning. The tide will start turning as they start to settle into things that they're more comfortable with, and guys getting more comfortable. Like I mentioned, Aaron Rodgers being more comfortable. So things will change. Things will change. And we saw a little bit of that today. Now, again, I can't stress enough, no pads, tough to gauge offense and defensive line. It's just tough. So it's I don't know. Like I said, you can still get work done. Let's not kid ourselves. You can still get work done, but it's tough to really grade when guys don't have pads on the physicality, because that's what those positions requires. A lot of physicality. Awareness and accountability said, "What's up, B? The Steelers almighty family. I've been catching the shows, but prom vacation as a mailman is hectic. And man, I 100% understand, man. You got to do what you got to do. We appreciate you showing up today, man, and supporting us. Thank you very much." Big G is in the house, people. Big G has showed up and is in the house. So we thank Big G for being in here. But here's the thing that I would say about the Steelers is, well, first of all, Isaac Ziamalo came back today. Didn't do any teamwork, but did individuals drills. He was pretty light today. He had a sleeve on his left arm, but he came back today. So that's a good sign, because we hadn't seen him doing anything. Broderick was out there again today, didn't do any team stuff. I think they're just going to wait on Broderick, give him a week to heal up, and then next week go full bore and say, okay, what do you got? Let's get this thing figured out. We're ramping up for a preseason game that you are going to play in. So I think that's what the Steelers are doing at this point in time, which is good. Take your time. No reason to rush them, July 31st through a soft tissue injury. There's absolutely no reason for that. So lines kind of, again, it's, I guess I could belabor the point, but you can't really tell. Can't really tell today. But what you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, and this is part of our second topic, wide receivers look good. They look good today. First off, Roman Wilson looked good, made some catches, made a big catch over Joey Porter Jr., kind of mossed him. Roman Wilson starting to pick up. Another guy that we've all been screaming about and asking about, Rock Taylor. Now, it's not against first or second team defense, but Rock Taylor is starting to show out. He's starting to show some things, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't want everybody getting excited. Oh, he's got to be a starter. Oh, he 100% has to make the team. I'm not changing any of my opinions about Rock Taylor, that he has a 25% chance to make the football team, until we at least get through a preseason game. I'm not changing any of that. And I don't think you should either. Okay? It's still going to be tough for him to make the team, but it's not impossible. And all he needs is opportunity. Because here's the thing. You can say, well, I mean, it's against third and fourth string guys. Well, that's all you're giving me an opportunity to do right now. Give me an opportunity against second string guys and see what I can do. I think that time's coming. I think it's coming, ladies and gentlemen. And if he can do that, got an opportunity. But I was glad to see Roman Wilson make some strides today. He did. Jonnu Smith, Pat Freiermuth, making sure after a struggle last week, Jonnu Smith totally turned that around, making big strides again today. But the person who stood out more than anybody today, ladies and gentlemen, is DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf went out today, and I think he took it personal yesterday that the offense got punked. And let's make no mistake about it. The most physical guy out there and most physically accustomed guy to deal with some physicality is DK Metcalf. And today, he showed why the Pittsburgh Steelers gave him all that money. He was the best player on the field, dominated everybody on the defensive side of the football as far as the secondary, DK Metcalf. So we can be happy about that, you know. And I know people will say, well, wasn't in pads. You're right. But we gave the defense credit, and especially the defensive secondary credit when they dominated when it wasn't in pads. We have to be able to do the same thing with wide receivers, you know. And they were out there competing. So it's not like the DBs weren't competing. The offense just turned it around and said, enough is enough. And I love it. I love it. But DK Metcalf went out there and said, no. So it's the offense got punked, and they fought back today. Isn't that what you want? Because I know it's what I want. Offense goes out for a series and gets their head beaten in, or gets their head beaten in for a quarter by a defense. Oh, hold on. It's time to turn this thing around. Yes. I love it. So Mike in Texas says DK isn't just a dog. He's a rabid dog. I believe so. So DB Boys said we need to develop JJ Galbraith. He's been balling out. He has. We'll see. It's tough for him to make the team. I mean, the Steelers did something crazy again today, which, again, I love. Four tight end set. Not 13 personnel, 14. I don't even know if you said 14 personnel. It's actually 4 personnel because they had a wide receiver out there, but they had 4 tight ends in the game. So, but they didn't have a running back. They put Jonnu Smith back at running back and gave him the ball, which is crazy to me. 4 personnel? What are we doing? What? But that's what it was. 4 personnel. 4 tight ends in the game. Now, I would really be surprised if we ever see that from Pittsburgh. But you know what? I wouldn't put it past the Steelers to go in a formation like that, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, maybe anything from 3rd and 3 and under. I wouldn't mind the Steelers being in that personnel, you know, and throwing a wide receiver out there with them with no backs. All right. I can live with that. I can absolutely live with that. And then spread them out and then just see what happens. What do they do? First of all, what personnel group does a defense come out in? That would be what I want to see. Like, what do you come out in? Are you coming out in your base? You coming out in goal line package? What are you coming out in? And then shift and spread everybody out. So, I mean, anything is possible. Now, again, I get it. It's a camp formation that more than likely we're not going to see that ever again. But it's good to see now, and who knows? Like I said, the offense is just throwing things against the wall, people. They're just throwing things against the wall to see what works, to see what fits, if it can fit, you know? So who the hell knows what's going on out there? Who the hell knows? But I like to see it. But yeah, DK showed his ass today. He did. And that's a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. That's a good thing. Not getting whipped, lying down. I like to see it. So I like to see it. So Mike says that's a new meaning to the word big. Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. So Torsia said Jonnu is a lot faster than I thought he was. Jonnu Smith is a lot faster than what a lot of people think that he is. He is a lot faster than what a lot of people think that he is. So, and you're right, Torsia. Every good team has a good tight end. Steelers have 3. I agree. So it's how you use them. But I was real happy for Roman Wilson because while the Steelers had given him the opportunity, and they're still giving him an opportunity to do a lot, at least to be in 11 personnel, they had kind of started splitting those reps between him and Robert Woods, and that's not a good sign for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm just telling you now, that's not a good sign if Roman Wilson can't win the job as one of the starting wide receivers in 11 personnel. That's not a good sign, ladies and gentlemen. It just isn't. Now, it's still early in camp, but the Steelers, I know they want Roman Wilson to win that job. If he doesn't, it's problematic. It's problematic. And then it's where do you go? Like how long do the Steelers wait before they have to bring in another wide receiver? I know there's plenty of you out there right now that say the Steelers got to bring in somebody right now. They don't need to wait. But you got to give guys an opportunity. And I think you got to give them an opportunity against another football team. And that'll come at the end of next week, first preseason game. I don't think that you can make that decision today and say, okay, we've had 2 practices or 1 practice in pads. We got to make a decision. And even tomorrow, I think it's a steady progression of stuff that they've got to give these guys an opportunity to win a job. So I think they just have to do that. Turf with the super chat. Appreciate you supporting the channel. So, our One North, how is Peyton Wilson looking? Peyton Wilson looks great. He looks great. He's been flying around the football. Like I said, he's bigger but leaner, if that makes sense. More muscle, more athletic. But he put on 10 pounds of muscle, but he's leaner. So, I love it. I love it. It's look good. Look good like an every down linebacker. Like an every down linebacker. So, but we'll see. We will see. Nayland says, I agree. It's no need to rush, but if Terry is available, we have to take that shot. And I'm assuming you're talking about Terry McLaurin. You got to get that out of your mind, man. That's not happening. That is 100% not happening. So we got to let stuff like that go. Got to let stuff like that. That is never going to happen. So the Commanders are not trading him. So we got to get that out. And that was just a silly rumor that somebody put out online. Teams ran with it. And because they said it on ESPN, all of a sudden it needed to be true. It's never been true. It's never going to be true. We just got to let that slide. But I get what you're saying, though. I get it. But the one thing about it is that we got to just wait and see what our guys can do. And I'm excited for it. I really am. I'm excited for it. So, Bag 74, the super chat. We appreciate you, man. He said, if the defense can be top 3, if everyone is healthy on offense, where do you see the offense ranking this coming season? Well, first off, I'm glad you clarified and said if everybody's on offense is healthy, because that's the key. The offensive line got to be healthy. But if they are, I think the Steelers can finish anywhere between 12th and 15 on offense. I don't see why they can't. You know, if they're healthy, which means they're going to be able to run the football and protect, I think anywhere between 12 and 15. And to be honest, if the defense is top 3, you know not what I said, they can't be worse than top 5, and they have a 12th to 15 offense, that's a team that's winning a playoff game or two, don't you think? I mean, it would be to me. Now, granted, anything can happen in the playoffs, so you can never just predict that. But I'm just saying, if you can finish between 12th and 15th on offense and your defense is top 5, well, number one, you have a good football team. That would be number one. But I would think you win 11 to 13 games. That would be my thought. That would absolutely be my thought. So we'll see how that plays out. But that's where I would go with BSG 74. That's exactly where I would go. So, Henry, your top 10 is a stretch, man. Top 10 is a stretch. I get we have Rodgers, but Rodgers isn't the only part of the offense that makes it go. Offensive line, it starts and ends with them. Running game, play calling, wide receivers, just having Rodgers isn't giving you a top 10 offense. Last year, we saw Austin running wide. Him and Rodgers can hopefully cook. They started getting some of that stuff together, and we saw it today, Torsia. Calvin Austin kind of getting loose from people. Guys didn't like Jalen Ramsey, didn't like it. Jonnu Smith getting loose from people, giving it to Thornhill a little bit. Didn't like it. Didn't like it. I like what I'm seeing, people. I like what I am seeing. How is Kayla Johnson looking? Well, here's the thing. The first reps in backs versus backers yesterday, he looked awful in pass protection. Just awful. But then he got more reps after that, and he looked okay. So, first off, Malik Hairston, I think, was out there to prove a point because nobody's been talking about Malik Hairston. I think he was out there, okay, let me go against this rookie and show him exactly what's what. And he did. He did. I mean, he literally basically ran over him twice and then just beat him on the next rep. So we'll see. But he got better. And again, it's a work in progress. He doesn't have to be excellent in pass protection today. We need him to be excellent in pass protection week 1. And I don't mean good. He needs to be really good in pass protection and know where to go. Understand where the blitzes are coming and go be violent when you get there. So now, as far as him running the ball, everybody said the same thing. He looks super fluid, understands where holes are. Now, there hadn't been a whole lot of holes to run because the offensive line's kind of been getting pushed around a little bit. But, I think the Steelers have one. If he can figure out pass protection, because that's a big part of being an NFL running back, is pass protection. If he can figure that part out, the Steelers got one. They got one. So, but they got to get that first. So, Howard says Chris Canty probably got beat by the Steelers in the playoffs and he's still salty. Yeah, probably. Nobody takes him seriously. Nobody takes him seriously. And Chris Canty knows what he's doing. He's trying to clickbait for ESPN. I get it. Henry said, interesting thing about intra-squad matchups, for a player to look good means another player look bad. That's the whole thing about it, Henry. You hit the nail on the head, brother. It's like if one player in a scrimmage, if I have a play and I look good, somebody's got to look bad. Or sometimes a guy can just get blocked, and you don't have to necessarily look bad by getting blocked, but I guess that's kind of what it is. That's kind of what it is. So you just got to deal with it and hope that it balances out. And hope that it balances out. But you kind of hit that nail on the head. Somebody's got to struggle for somebody to do well. Awareness said, B, is it true Roman got off on JPJ in one-on-ones? Yes, he did. It was a pass. JPJ actually had decent coverage, but part of Joey Porter Jr.'s problems is he has terrible ball skills, just terrible, which is probably why he's a defensive back and not a wide receiver because he can't catch. But he's in decent position, but he just kind of tipped the ball. Roman Wilson jumped over top of him, caught it, and kind of mossed him a little bit and gave him the business. Look, give him credit. He made the play. But I think if Joey Porter Jr. just had better ball skills, then he makes that play. But he didn't. So it's just it's kind of where it is. But Porter's just got to be better attack. And that's kind of what Darius Slay mentioned. We heard during minicamp, Darius Slay came out and said, hey, I'm going to teach him how to be better when the ball is in the air. Everything else he seems to get, but when the ball is in the air, he panics and grabs. I'm going to teach him to be a more aggressive in attacking the ball versus attacking the man, which that's a good thing. So my main man, Justin Watson, says, I'd like to still see them add another wide receiver. Robert Woods getting reps with the first team is highly concerning to me. And that's kind of what I mentioned earlier, Justin, is, yeah, he started in 11 personnel. He took some of the reps away from Roman Wilson. So maybe they were just trying to work him in. Maybe they're just trying to see what he's got. I don't know. It's still early in camp, so I don't want to panic. But I don't think they need to bring somebody in for at least another week. I'm going to give it another week. In another week, and after they play a preseason game, you see what you got, and then you can say, okay, yeah, what we have out here at wide receiver is not going to work. We need to make a move. And that's what would need to happen. I think you still have time to figure that part out. I just don't think you need to jump the gun just yet. But I'm with you. I'm with you because Robert Woods, look, I think Robert Woods is better than what Van Jefferson was, but or maybe. I don't know. I just know that I don't need to see Robert Woods on the football field a whole lot this year. That's all I'm saying. And that's not a knock. That's not me trying to be negative. I'm just saying I don't mind him being on the football team. I just don't need him to be on my football field a whole lot. Injury, I don't care. I just don't need him to be on the football field a ton. You know, if we're having to deal with Robert Woods having and depending on him to get us 40 catches this year, the Steelers are in trouble. So the Steelers aren't in trouble. So that's what I would say. But that's okay. We can figure some stuff out. We can still figure some stuff out. And yes, it's still early. Steve, what's going on? He says, hey, Big B, late coming in today, so I apologize. First off, don't apologize for coming in late. You're here, man. That's the only thing that matters. Said if you've already covered this, but I heard Austin didn't even see a ball today. Why is that? No, he did. He did. Looked okay. He looked okay. Yeah, Calvin Austin looked okay today. So I wouldn't panic about that. A lot of stuff, again, they weren't in pads today. So, but the receivers took it to the DBs today. The receivers, including tight ends, they took it to the defense today. So they absolutely took it to them today. So that goes without question, without anything. They took it to, and they needed to because they got their head beaten in yesterday. So seeing them fight back, and that's part of what we talked about. The competition is really starting to heat up in camp because there's little skirmishes all over the place now. There's these pushing and shoving and people challenge. The one thing that I will tell you, the defensive back room has changed having Darius Slade and Jalen Ramsey in it. It has changed. The bravado of that entire room is changed. You already got Deshaun Elliott in there, but you add two corners that like to get in your face and talk a ton of shit. Yeah. The whole bravado of the DB room has changed with those two guys in the room. So everything is being challenged. Everything is being contested. If they make a play, they let the offense know. I don't like it. I love it. I love it. So Miss Felicia coming in. Hey, Big B, sorry for being late. First of all, don't apologize, man. Nobody needs to apologize for coming in late. You're here. That's all that matters, man. Said, did you cover our crazy XGP? No, we didn't talk about GP. I think we're done with the GP stuff. I think we're done with him. We talked about some of that on the big show, but yeah, I don't know if he said anything new today. If he did, I didn't pay attention, and I'm kind of over it. So, my man Justice says, all credit to Woods. He was great, underrated from age 21 to 29. Father Time gets exactly. That's the whole thing about Robert Woods. I commend him for being a part of the Steelers and still playing, but his better days have been gone. And that's literally not his fault. That's not his fault. Some might say, oh, well, he's not any good anymore. Well, how many people are that good? I mean, he's been in the league for a long time, man. Football takes a toll. Football takes a toll. So let's see here. What else do we got? Daredevil, what's going on, man? We appreciate you being in here. But yeah, I just like the football aspect of it. By the way, just to give you guys an update, I know we've been going after practice every day. Clearly, we're not going to do that tomorrow. Practice is at 7, I think it's at 7 Eastern. So we're not going to be doing a live tomorrow night after practice, but we will be doing one Saturday morning, 11 Eastern, 10 Central. We'll be doing a live talking about what we saw from the Pittsburgh Steelers practice Friday Night Lights the night before. So get your cereal, get your coffee, get your breakfast, whatever. jump on YouTube. Let's get live. We'll be talking Pittsburgh Steelers on Saturday. So no show tomorrow because the practice is later, but we will be doing one tomorrow or on Saturday. So make sure you guys show up for that. Make sure you guys are there. But it is what it is. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow's practice. I think that's one of the reasons that they didn't have a padded practice today is because they're like, look, we're going to get after it on Friday Night Lights. It's going to be the most physical practice that we had. Cam and TJ didn't practice today. Siamalu and Broderick aren't going to participate on Friday. They're not. But I think that's why we don't need these guys passing out. It was super hot today. Let's get after it. The Steelers are down 3 defensive line already with knee injuries. None of those guys practiced today. We'll see moving forward how all that works. But they're getting after it. So what's the chance A-Rod throws over 4,000 yards this year, says my man David Rogers. I don't know. I know 4,000 yards is kind of the benchmark number that everybody wants to hit these days, and I get it. But here's what I would say. In the Steelers' offense and what they want to do, if the Steelers can run for 2,800 yards with all their running backs, we don't need our quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards. That's what I would say to you. Now that's a lot of yards rushing, but if the Steelers can run or better yet, let me just throw this out there. If the defense does what I believe it's going to do, and the offense can average 4.4 yards a carry, not even 4.5, give me 4.4 yards a carry, our quarterback isn't going to need to throw for 4,000 yards. It's just not going to need to do that. I mean, look at the Philadelphia Eagles last year. Hell, Jalen Hurts didn't even get to 3,000 yards. Now, that's a different situation. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to compare them, our O-line to their O-line or running back situation. I'm just saying everybody puts the $4,000 mark out there. And I'm not saying you, David. I'm not trying to badmouth you. I just say a lot of people put that out there. But if the Steelers can run for that, you don't have to get the $4,000 to be successful, man. You don't have to get there. That's my only thing. You don't have to get there. So Steve said, if Austin is looking good, can he not be the wide receiver too? Well, I mean, in 12 personnel, Austin is wide receiver too. I just think, he's a little guy to be out there playing flanker. And you can still be pressed. I know you're playing flanker and you're off the ball, but you can still get pressed by guys, and he's not great against the press. He's just not because he's little. So you got to kind of stack him with people, put him in bunches, things of that nature. Because you put somebody in the bunch, they're not going to be up pressing. They're more than likely going to play banjo coverage, which Calvin Austin can run away from that. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's a good question, man. That's a real good question. So let's see here. My man Mike, he says, hot seems to be the theme of today. The gates of hell have opened here in North Texas. I'm ready for season change. Mike, Lord have mercy, is 105 degrees as I speak right now in Frisco, Texas. It is so hot. And I'm not the type, I keep my house cold. I do. I want my house cold. But I'm not turning my air conditioner to 64 degrees to heat up my whole house. I'm just not going to do that. I'm just not. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So, yeah, great point here, Justin. I'd say if Rodgers is over 4K, it probably means the run game is insufficient again. Exactly. That's exactly my whole point is if we're throwing for 4,000 yards in an Arthur Smith offense, then we're not running the ball for 4 yards a carry, which would be a catastrophe. Just a catastrophe. So, awareness. He gifted the Steelers Almighty membership. We appreciate your awareness. Thank you for supporting the channel, man, and gifting out a membership. My man Rob Nash says, cornerback room finally has some dogs in it, and I'm here for it. Damn right, Rob. Been a minute since the Steelers have had a wide receiver room this good. or it's not wide receiver room, DB room this good. It's been a minute. We discussed this last week a little. Like, I don't remember the time that the Steelers had corners this good. I just don't, or this deep. I just don't remember. I literally don't remember. And I'm not just talking about the starters. I'm talking about 4 deep. When was the last time the Steelers had that? It's been a while, man. It has been a while. So, it's been a while. So, but we'll see. We'll see. DB says, are the all 22s lives or do you record them and post them? We record them and post them because I can't do all 22 lives and break down plays. I mean, I got to break them down. We got to do some editing with those. You know, it's not a ton, but I got to do some editing with the all 22s. First of all, depending on which one we're looking at, if it's just offensive line, there's 10 plays that I go through, or I'm watching an entire football game and picking out 10 plays that I think are going to be best to show you guys and break down. So it takes a little editing to be able to do that stuff, you know. And quite frankly, just going to now the whole game, when we start doing the entire game this year for members that are at the all pro level, those aren't too edited because you're just going down the list of plays. So over the entire football game. So it doesn't require a ton of editing on those. We're just sitting here, you turn on the film and you start looking at the plays, and the ones that need to be discussed get discussed and some don't. So I wouldn't expect a whole lot of those. So again, anybody, you want to be a member and get the all 22 access to the entire football games this year, all pro level or higher. And we made changes to memberships to lower the price to make it better for you. So I don't know what "don't be biased" means, Mark Tobin. I don't understand what that means. So I trust Rodgers getting 4K more than I do running game getting 2,800. Oh, that's a good one, Henry. That's a good one. And you're probably right. My only thinking is just in this offense, I think if the Steelers get run for 2,800 yards, they're not going to need a quarterback getting 4,000 yards. But you may be right as far as, hey, I trust the Steelers getting 4K more than I trust them getting 2,800 yards rushing. So, yeah, I mean, you may be right. You may be right. So, I agree with you. Howard says Pat Meyer needs to help these young dudes with their techniques. Seems like he's just there for a paycheck. The problem with Pat Myers is his philosophy on blocking. I just vehemently disagree with. He basically has guys jump setting guys, and so if you on a jump set, yeah, you attack a guy quickly, and if you hit him and you get him, okay, great. But if you miss, you get beat quickly. And then there's pressure. Remember the other day when I was telling you guys about pressure, that the Steelers were 27th in the league with pressures under 2.5 seconds? That's why. Is because guys are getting beat so fast because of what they're being taught. I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with it at all. I don't think it's a good way to pass block. I just don't. But that's just me. And again, they don't pay me to be offensive line coach. And I understand that offensive line techniques have changed a million times since I have played football. But I've watched football a long time. Football doesn't change. I don't know. Oh, Justin, looked like you said the same damn thing. His philosophy in pass pro is really hard to young raw guys to pick up. It's aggressive lateral pass. Exactly. Justin must have said this, and maybe we're on the same wavelength, but yes, that's exactly it. Jump setting, just again, it's high reward, high risk. When it works really well. When it doesn't, you are beat immediately, and it's tough. It's tough. And so that's the thing is, It's just tough. So just tough. And I think you can mix up jump setting, but that's what the good offensive linemen do anyway on their own. Like you can mix that in as far as what you do. That shouldn't just be your go-to. You know, we're going to move quick, get in front of them, get on them immediately. That shouldn't always be the case. And I think that sometimes when the Steelers do that, that's why when you saw so many twists last year, I would show you guys they were uneven. The offensive line was so uneven and couldn't pass off twists because, well, you got a guard that's so aggressive that doesn't give any ground, doesn't see and doesn't give him an opportunity, doesn't give himself an opportunity. Okay, I'm an offensive guard. I'm coming out of my stance. I'm immediately on a guy where if I just take a half step, oh, the end is coming. I can block him. Oh, he's coming from there. I can block him. And then I can pass off. He doesn't even give himself an opportunity to do that because they're so aggressive. And like I said, when there's no stunts going on and there's no twists going on and you can get on a guy, it works. It works. But when you don't, you are beat immediately. And we saw a lot of that last year. Hell, we saw Mason McCormick doing ballerina steps, spinning and trying to block people with his butt so many times that he was out of position so much, or he got caught leaning forward so many times. I'm like, man, just be patient. Your job as a pass protector is not to be aggressive. It is not. Your hands can be violent, but you cannot be aggressive. D linemen are too athletic, too quick, too strong for you to be out there reaching for guys. Can't do it. So Mike Munchak departure is still left to this day. I mean, felt to this day. And the thing about Mike Munchak, and I get it, Mike Munchak doesn't coach football anymore. So it's not like he's somewhere else giving all these other teams all this great knowledge. He doesn't coach football anymore. And I don't think he'd come back to the Steelers anyway because the way all that ended. But the bottom line is I think we got to move past that. Like he's not – it'd be one thing if he was coaching somewhere else, but he isn't. And he was a great one. Don't get me wrong. He was a great one. But I just think we got to move past that. That's all. I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying. So, and it's sickening the way all that ended. But it is what it is. It is what it is, people. So, hey, again, I want to remind everybody, no show tomorrow. Friday Night Lights is tomorrow. We'll be doing it Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central, 11 Eastern. So make sure you get your coffee, you get your breakfast, everything in, and show up on Saturday morning. We will be right here discussing what we saw on Friday Night Lights. And the Steelers are going to practice on Saturday. So we'll be right back here on Saturday afternoon. We'll probably do, not probably, Steelers are practicing. We're going to have a show. So I'm just letting you know. So we'll do it at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning, and we'll do it again on Saturday at 5 p.m., letting you know what the Steelers look like during that practice. It may just be a walkthrough if they get after it, but I would hope not. Because, again, the Steelers missed a day of practice. Yeah, because of rain. So they already missed a day. We can't be afforded to missing days. You know, we got to be stacking days and stacking good days versus missing days. So hopefully that's what we get. So my man Mason with the super chat, thanks for supporting the channel. I get it. We just haven't had good replacement. No, we haven't. You're right. You're right. So I appreciate everybody being in here, man. That's all I got for you guys today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure that you do. Also, go pick up you some merch, man. Go pick up you some merch at Steelers Almighty Shop. I'll be getting some stuff sooner than later to show you guys any more. But go pick up you a shirt, a hat, all that good stuff there. And make sure you subscribe to the channel and also become a member. All pro level, get you the all 22 access or more. If you go to the Hall of Fame level, that'll get you live streaming with the game. Every Pittsburgh Steelers game during the season. So we appreciate you guys, man. Thank you as always. And y'all have a good evening, and I will talk to you soon. Aloha.